Hi kids! Welcome back to Kulsirisart School's online class. This is Teacher April and I'll be your science teacher for the whole semester. Okay, for today's lesson, we're going to talk about how do I control the different parts of my body. We're also going to talk about how do I protect the different parts of my body and how do I keep my body clean. But before that, let's talk about our 5 senses first, okay? What are our 5 senses? 5 senses are the 5 main tools that humans use to perceive the world. It helps us understand what is happening around us. And what are our 5 senses? We have here sense of sight, sense of hear, sense of smell, sense of taste, and lastly, we have sense of touch. Now, let's talk about our sense of sight. Okay, we use our eyes to see things around us, right? Okay, you can watch me now. You can see things around you because of your sense of sight. Next one, our sense of hearing. We use our ears to hear the sounds around us. We can hear bird chirping, dog barking, car blowing its horns because of our sense of hearing. And we use our ears to hear, okay? Next one is our sense of smell. We smell all the things around us, whether it smells bad, good, delicious, and many more because of our sense of smell. And we use our nose to smell, okay? Next one, we have here our sense of taste, okay? You can taste foods because of your sense of taste. You know it's spicy, it's bitter, it's sweet because of your sense of taste. And we use our tongue to taste. And lastly, we have here our sense of touch, okay? You can feel something because of your sense of touch. You know that it's rough or it's soft because of your sense of touch. Those are our 5 senses. Again, we have sense of sight, sense of hearing, smelling, taste, and touch. Now, if you want to understand about our 5 senses better, watch this video. You enjoy the video? Great! Alright. Now, let's proceed to our next topic. How do I control the different parts of my body? Do you have any idea? Okay. The brain is the most important part of our body. It is the control center of the body. It controls what goes on in our body. Now, can you see your brain? No, you can't because it is inside your head. Okay? Again, brain controls what goes on in our body. It is the control center of our body. Okay? Now, it says here that our brain is protected by a skull. What is a skull? Look at this picture. That is the skull. Our brain is protected by this one. Okay. The skull is hard and strong. It is made up of bones. Bones support our body. And did you know, kids, that a newborn baby has 300 bones, whereas we adults, we only have 206 bones. That's a trivia for you, okay? Now, it says here that the brain receives messages from different parts of our body. It helps us think and understand what is happening. It also tells the body parts what to do. That means our brain receives signal from the outside world and it sends it to our different body parts for it to respond properly. Okay. Now, for more information about how our brain works, watch this video.
Today we're going to learn about the parts of the brain and how they work. The human brain is the most important organ of the nervous system. It is located in the head and is protected inside the skull. Have you ever asked yourself why we breathe without realizing it, or why we remember our way to school without having to think about it? Our brain is in charge of coordinating all the vital functions of our body, making sense of what is happening around us. The brain receives signals from the outside world and sends messages to the different parts of the body so that they respond adequately. The human brain is divided into three parts: the cerebellum, the encephalic trunk, and the brain cortex. The cerebellum controls balance, movement, and coordination. Thanks to the cerebellum, we can walk, maintain balance, or do sports. The encephalic trunk connects the brain to the spinal cord, which goes from our neck all the way down to the lowest part of our back. The encephalic trunk is also in charge of the vital functions like breathing, for example, or digesting and pumping blood to all parts of our body. The brain cortex is the outermost layer of our brain. It consists of neurons, a type of interconnected cell that transmits information generated by nervous impulses. The brain directs our body. It receives signals from the outside world and sends messages so that different parts of our body, legs, arms, etc., respond adequately. For example, if we touched a hot dish, our brain would send a signal to our hand to quickly move it away. Goodness, that was close. We could get burned. The brain is divided into two major parts: the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, which are interconnected by fibers known as hard body. The left hemisphere is in charge of important tasks like calculating, reasoning, and speech. The right hemisphere is in charge of tasks related to intuition and creativity. That's right, it's the hemisphere associated with music and art. Did you know that the right hemisphere controls the left part of our body, and the left hemisphere controls the right part of our body? What a crisscross! Both hemispheres consist of 4 lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Each one carries out different brain functions. The frontal lobe is in charge of planning our actions and controlling emotions. The parietal lobe is in charge of giving meaning to the information received by the senses. The temporal lobe is in charge of functions related to memory and face recognition. And the occipital lobe is in charge of processing visual information. You can tell that our brain is a very important organ, and for this reason, we should look after it and exercise it. Here's 5 basic tips. Protect your head by wearing a helmet when you ride a bicycle or a motorbike. Eat healthy foods that energize your brain. Do physical exercise. Sleep at least 8 hours a day to recharge your brain activity. Read, play, solve riddles or math challenges to keep your brain active. Our brain is amazing, isn't it?
Did you enjoy the video? Great! Alright, now let's proceed to our new topic, which is how do I protect the different parts of my body? Are you ready? Okay. First, we should read in a place with good lighting. That means you should read your books in a place that has well ventilated or a place that is not dark, okay? Because reading in a dark place might harm your eyes. Next one we have here, do not look at the screen for too long. That means you must have time limit in watching televisions or spending time in front of your computers. Next we have, do not sit too close to a screen, okay? A screen has radiation that may harm your eyes. So whenever you're watching television or you're using your computer, please keep distance. Next one, do not put sharp objects in your ears. What are some examples of sharp objects? We have here pencils, scissors, knives, and many more. Please do not put that in your ears because it may harm your ears, okay? Next one. Do not listen to very loud music. Okay, you should listen to music with average volume because too loud music might harm your ears. Okay, those are the ways on how to protect your body parts. Now let's proceed to the next one. How do I keep my body clean? Ready? All right. First one, we need to take a shower to keep ourselves clean. How often do you take a shower? Well, me, I take a shower before I go to school or in the morning and before I go to bed at night. How about you? Okay, now what are the things we need in taking a shower? We have here soap, which we use in cleaning our body. Next, we have shampoo. We use this to clean our hair. And we have here towel to dry ourselves after we take a shower. Alright, next one. Comb your hair after taking a shower to keep it neat. Especially you girls, you have to comb your hair to keep it neat. Now, what is the material we use in combing our hair? We have here a hair comb or a hairbrush. Next, keep your fingernails short. Alright, this one, we have to trim our fingernails regularly to avoid bacteria and diseases. And what is the material we use in cutting our nails? We have here nail cutter or nail trimmer. And of course, we have to wash your hands with soap before you eat and after you use the toilet. We must practice this one especially now because of the COVID situation. Now, what do we use in cleaning our hands? We have here soap, okay? And brush your teeth at least twice a day to keep them clean, okay? In the morning or at night before you go to bed. Now, what are the materials we use in brushing our teeth? We have here toothbrush and toothpaste, okay? So, those are the ways on how to keep your body clean. Now, let's proceed to your vocabulary words. First one here is we have sight. It means the power of seeing. Next, hear. Perceive with the ear the sound made by someone or something. Next, smell. Power of perceiving odor or scents. Next, taste. Sensation of flavor. Next, touch. Perceived through contact with the body. We also have protect, which means keep safe from harm and injury. Control, which means to be in charge. Decay, to become gradually damaged. And bone, any of the pieces of hard tissue making up the skeleton in humans and other vertebrates. Those are your vocabulary words for today. And before we answer your class book, let's review first, okay? What are our 5 senses? Can you still remember? We have here sense of sight, sense of hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Okay, next one. How do we protect the different parts of our body? Can you still remember? Okay, we have here read in a place with good lighting. Do not look at the screen for too long. Do not sit too close to a screen. And do not put sharp objects to your ears. And lastly, we have do not listen to very loud music. Those are the things we need to do to protect the different parts of our body. Next, how do we keep our body clean? Can you still remember? Alright. First, take a shower. Next, cut your fingernails. Next, wash your hands. And brush your teeth. Those are the things we must do to keep our body clean. Okay. Now, let's answer your class book. But before that, get your Science Inside Out class book 1 first and open it on page 7. Okay, in this activity, you just have to trace the dotted lines. I'll give you 10 seconds for that, okay? Next, it's the same. Just trace the dotted lines. It's still in page 7. Finish? Okay, next, turn it to page 8. And just like the first one and the second one, you just have to trace the dotted lines. Alright, turn it to page 9. Trace the dotted lines. Okay. And page 10, just the same. Trace the dotted lines. Finish. Alright, and page 12. You just have to trace it, okay? I will check that one once you come back to school. Finish? Great. And for your last activity, open your book on page 14. Let's answer this one. It says here that link each body part what it does. The first one is already answered. Let's proceed to number 2. Fingers. What do you think is the answer? What are the function of our fingers? Okay, is it to hold, think, walk, smell, taste, or hear? What do you think? The answer is hold. Okay. Next, how about our tongue? Is it to hold, think, walk, smell, taste, or hear? The answer is taste. Okay. Next one, how about our ears? What do you think is the answer? The answer for this one is hear. We use our ears to hear. Next, our nose. What's the answer? The answer is smell. Very good. We use our nose to smell. Next, we have here brain. The answer is think. Okay, I hope you got all the answers right. I will check your books once you come back to school. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.